Hi, my name's Jason, and today I am going to show you a comparison of three mics, including a condenser versus a dynamic, in the context of a mix. So I'm coming to you as someone with about 5 years experience recording in this room. I think like a lot of people, I just made the assumption that I needed to jump and get a condenser mic to record vocals. Later on, after I'd already bought that mic, I started to understand that some really big artists still use much cheaper dynamic mics in professional recording situations. I thought it would be interesting to come back to it with some years experience and just do the experiment again. So in this video, I'm going to show you the results of three different mics. The first mic is classic SM58 dynamic. The second mic is a more expensive dynamic. I'm actually using it right now to record. It's a Beyerdynamic M88. And the third mic, it's an AT4047 large diaphragm condenser mic. This is a real song. These are the real recordings. I'm showing you what I actually sent to my mixer as stems. And I said, hey mixer, choose which mic you want to work with. And at the very end, I will reveal what the mixer said. So I'm going to run through 3 steps of the test and let you hear the results at each stage. What I'm trying to do here that's a little bit different is to really compare them in the context of a home studio and in the context of a mix. What's important is, does the mic capture a good usable track? Now I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you should always record with the mic that gets you closest to the sound you want. Actually, I completely agree. If you actually try, you can get the mics to sound very similar. And if you can get them to sound very similar, then it stands to reason that you can get the sound you want out of each mic. The mic dry recorded. It won't be 100% dry because it's going through my preamp and my interface. My preamp is a Warm WA73, which is a Neve copy. It's a good quality preamp. My interface is an Apogee, which also is a very good quality interface. So I think that these are an equalizing factor in the comparison. What happened to you that makes you see the world this way? You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. What happened to you that makes you see the world this way? You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. What happened to you that makes you see the world this way? You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. So now you've just heard the mics dry. They all are going to have very slight EQ differences. Now keep in mind that these were 3 different performances. So things like proximity to the mic, I tried to level them going through my preamp, but my preamp is going to put a bit of color on them. Those are difference factors which may not be 100% the mic. The other thing is that in a room, the condenser mic is going to pick up more room sound than the dynamic mic. Now, it is treated. You can see there's treatment on this wall here beside me. There's more treatment on that wall. There's treatment above me. There's treatment behind the camera. And I stand right here in the middle of all of that treatment when I record. And then I sing towards the back, which is the less treated end of the room. But there's not going to be a lot of big standing waves in this room because one end is fairly well treated with the intention of not making it entirely dead, but certainly not very reactive. The mic should only be hearing the direct vocal and not a lot of reflections. But the reason I'm making a big deal about that is that if your room is not very well treated, you should basically just flat out choose a dynamic mic, because a room with a lot of bad slappy reverbs is just not going to sound good on a condenser mic. Just choose a dynamic mic and you're done. So now the next stage, I'm going to actively try to EQ each mic the way I like it, and also to try to make them sound very similar. So for sure, there are minor differences, which you may like or dislike. Matter of taste is where I think it's at. Let's listen. What happened to you that makes you see the world this way? You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. What happened to you that makes you see the world this way? You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. What happened to you that makes you see the world this way. You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. So now you've just heard mics that I tried to make them sound the same, but keep in mind what I was saying about room treatment. The condenser mic is going to have just a little bit more room on it. Now I'm going to actually put them in a mix. And when I put them in the mix, I am actually going to adjust the reverbs a little bit. The dynamic mics are going to get a little bit of extra reverb, which in my mind is trying to compensate for that little bit of room sound that the condenser mic is picking up. So again, I'm trying to mix them a way I like it, and they all sound the same. What happened to you makes you see the world this way? You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. What happened to you that makes you see the world this way? You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. What happened to you that makes you see the world this way? You're walking in shadows, think everyone's your enemy. So you've just heard all of those mics in the context of a mix. I think they all sound good. I would have been happy with any one of them, but you may pick out small details from each mic that you prefer, and that's fine. But I think maybe you'll admit that none of the mics is bad, and none of the mics would be universally agreed to be better. Now finally, I promised to reveal what the mixer chose. So this is a mixer with decades of experience as a professional musician. He chose the condenser mic, which don't jump to, oh yes, there it is again. You need a condenser mic for vocals, because this exact same mixer, when I recorded in his studio, I brought my condenser mic to his studio, and then we A/B'd my condenser mic against an M88 in his studio, and we both liked the M88 better. The important lesson there is perhaps my room does sound good with my AT mic. Now that might be because I've been recording with that AT mic for 5 years, and I have learned all of the tricks subconsciously or purposely to get that mic to sound good in my room. And I think that is really the fundamental lesson, is that any decent mic can get you a good result. Don't blame the mic. I do have a nice preamp. I do have a nice interface. I am using nice plugins. I think that those matter. All of the pieces of the chain matter, but you don't need the most expensive. None of my pieces of my chain are the most expensive. And I have gone to studios, had access to much more expensive gear. I don't think it made a huge difference. At the end of the day, it's going to be performance that matters. Any of these mics using my home studio gear can produce a great result if the performance is worthy. And so this is the type of content that I do on this channel. I like to examine some of these home studio issues from the perspective of someone who's had a few years experience. And then I'm going to talk to you as a peer. And the song that you're hearing on this video is my original music. If that was piquing your interest, there's a link in the description about that song. I also do live performance on this channel, and I have studio recorded music on all platforms, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you want to listen. Links below. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening, and please subscribe to this channel for more content like this.